With unlimited access to information at our fingertips at any given moment, it can be hard to keep up. Sometimes the constant noise of social media and the 24-hour news cycle can even seem unescapable. The good news, which we could all use right about now, is that some things are worth knowing a lot more than others. From practical tips to tidbits that can help you out at a cocktail party or virtual happy hour. Here are some facts everyone should know, so I'm going to share with you to raise the quality of your life. First thing, you should throw away the cotton in your medication bottles. That's amazing. Believe it or not, that little ball of cotton that comes in your bottles of pills, which is there to keep pills safe during shipping, is meant to be removed. It can collect moisture because of its absorbent nature, which makes your pills deteriorated. Secondly, it's easy to calculate a tip without a calculator. How? Now I'm going to share with you. Assuming you want to tip 20% for good service, move the decimal point one digit to the left and then double that number. It's that easy. For example, if a bill is for $35.50, you move the decimal to the left, which gives you $3.55. Double that number and you will got $7.10 and a 20% tip calculated in seconds. Third, you are tallest first thing in the morning. If you are feeling a bit on the short side, measure yourself when you first wake up. According to Jamaica Hospital Medical Center, this phenomenon may be due to gravity compression cartilage in our spine or in other parts of our bodies, such as our knees when we stand up or sit down throughout the day. While we are lying down in a resting position, the spine is said to spread out or decompress. So when we wake in the morning, we are taller after lying in bed all night. Fourth thing, you should sleep with your door closed. Someone sleeps, someone not. But what is the advantage to sleep with closing door? Sleeping with your doors closed will help protect you from smoke and toxic fumes in the event of a fire. And for more information on how to rest better at night, check out these tips. Furthermore, sleeping in a cold room can help you slim down. How? Just a single month of sleeping in a 66-degree room helped increase subjects' fat burning ability by as such as 10%, according to research from Commonwealth University. You'll yawn more often than you eat breakfast. Over the course of a lifetime, you'll yawn approximately 25 lakhs times, according to one expert on the subject. If you live to 70, that's about 10 yawns per day. You can't breathe and swallow simultaneously. This is because the food and fluids we swallow and the air we breathe in both travel down the same part of our throat, according to the registered psychiatric nurse James Stimmons. It turns out that faking happiness can hurt your health. For a study published in the Academy of Magnetic Journal, researchers looked at the behavior of a bus driver, a profession where people are required to have many friendly interactions throughout the day, and discovered that these people withdraw from their work while putting on a smile for show. And what's the last? There is deleterious health effects, and it's really very long lasting. Babies don't have kneecaps. Well, they do. It's just that they aren't made of bone. They are little bits of cartilage that have yet to ossify into bone. And for more on how to know when kids are being honest, you can check the link given in the description. The color you see in pitch darkness has a name. Have you noticed this? If you close your eyes in a completely dark room, when you open them, the color you see is called agentro, which means intrinsic gray. It's the shade of dark gray people see when there's no light. The smell after it rains does too. It's called petrichor. It comes from an oil plant's exudate that dries on the ground. When it rains, the oil combines with the bioproduct from a type of produce the smell. If you like crunching ice after you finish your soda, you might be suffering from anemia, also known as pagophagia. The compulsive eating of ice may not just be a nervous tic, but a way of cooling inflammation in the mouth caused by a lack of iron, according to the Mayo Clinic. So if you like chomping down on these cubes, get thee to a doctor. Sharp knives are faster than dull knives. Sharp knives aren't actually as likely to cut you as dull ones. Because a sharp knife easily slices through food, you only have to apply a small amount of pressure when using them. This means that you are more likely to cut the item you are intending to cut and not your hand. Dull knives, however, can't cut through food easily and often cause injuries when resistance between the dull blade and the food surface suddenly gives way, at which point the knife flies out of the control. Since you have to use so much pressure to cut with a dull knife, they often cause deep cuts and cuts, as opposed to the mirror nicks a sharper knife might inflict. Keep your knives sharp. And Wikipedia is downloadable. You can actually download the entirety of Wikipedia and keep it on a USB drive. Here's the link. You can find the link in the description if you'd like to eliminate the middleman and own the source. And it can act as your tour guide. If you allow Wikipedia to know your location, it can provide you with pages about subjects relevant to where you are using its nearby function. There are more life forms on your body than people on Earth. You are a planet teeming with microbes. Trillions of them inhabit your body. In fact, 90% of the cells in your body are actually composed of microbes. And these microbes might live on your face. Don't freak out, but your face is crawling with 80-legged spider-like creatures. Fortunately, they are microscopic and impossible to see. But according to the BBC, they are mites with long, worm-like bodies residing in hair follicles and pores or sebaceous glands. The size of your social circle is related to the size of your brain. A scientist at Oxford discovered that the size of a person's orbitomedial prefrontal cortex, the part of a brain that identifies other people's mood and personalities, can predict the size of that person's social circle. The average prefrontal cortex averages out to around 147.8 friends in a social network. And people with friends live longer. People with active social networks and close friends they talk live longer than people who rely only on family, according to researchers at Michigan State University. So, whenever possible, make time to see the members of your social circle, even if it's just for coffee. Your hair growth may have to do with your ethnic background. While human hair generally grows at a rate of about 6 inches per year, there is some difference in growth rates based on ethnicity. According to research published in the International Journal of Dermatology, people of Asian descent tend to have faster growing hair than those of other ethnic backgrounds. Young adults are more likely to be living with their parents than on their own. Don't have the cash for rent or a down payment. You are not alone. For the first time in over 130 years, more people between 18 and 34 are living with their parents than on their own or with a partner. Taking aspirin during a heart attack may save your life. Taking an aspirin at the first sign of a heart attack can be a lifesaver. The drug inhibits platelets from forming a clot that can block an artery and cause a full-on heart attack. For the faster relief and the time of the ascent, chew the aspirin instead of swallowing it. Most spreadsheets don't spell check. Before you hand off any important spreadsheet, be sure to run a spell check manually to spare yourself any undue embarrassment. Women can give birth after they die. It's very rare, but it has been known to happen, called coffin birth. It's a phenomenon that occurs when a pregnant woman delivers a child spontaneously after her death, due to gases that build up in the abdominal area, putting pressure on the mother's uterus and forcing the baby out the birth passageway. One example of this was discovered in 2010 in the grave of a medieval woman who was buried in Italy. According to Smithsonian, with modern ambling techniques, this doesn't really happen anymore. Man can get aroused post-mortem. Called periapsym, it's often seen in the corpses of men who have died by hanging, and it's due to the pressure on the cerebellum created by the noose. Shakespeare invented the name Jessica. Well, it can't be proven that he invented it, but the first written instance of the name is found in the Bard's 1596 play The Merchant of Venus. Shylock's daughter and Angelication of the biblical name Isa is named Jessica. High heels were first designed for men. Though closely identified as a female fashion staple today, high heels were first designed for men. At the end of the 16th century, Persian-inspired style was all the rage in Europe. According to the J. Paul, and heels were seen as believing virile and masculine, and a great way to boost your heights a few inches. There's mental phenomenon that causes you to see monsters in mirror, called the Troxler effect, and discovered as long ago as 1804. It causes those who experience it to think they see something fearsome in the mirror just on the periphery of their vision, whether they say Blood Mary 3 times or not. Snow is a terrible way to stay hydrated. When it comes to snow, it's water, water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. It requires a lot of energy for your body to convert something from a solid to a liquid, and while snow will provide a tiny amount of hydration, it will also lower your body temperature in the process, making you more prone to hypothermia. Blue cheese can change your dreams. Having strange dreams? It's time to skip the blue cheese on your salad. According to research from British Cheese Board, eating blue cheese is particularly associated with vivid dreams. You can request re-examination for senior citizens. In some states, you can request that the DMV re-examine a senior citizen. So if Grandpa Joe isn't taking the hint that he's not safe behind the wheel, you can put the responsibility for nagging him about it solely on the shoulders of the DMV. Dishwasher needs washing too. If you have never cleaned your dishwasher, it might be time. Look up some instructional videos or hire professional and get that thing in tip-top shape. It will greatly improve your machine's performance. The universe has a color. Research at Johns Hopkins University took the average of light from over 200,000 galaxies. It turns out the universe is on average kind of beige. They name the color cosmic light. Women have more pain receptors than men. According to Time, they also have a higher tolerance for pain rather than men. You can use Amazon for charity. Use Amazon Smile instead of plain old Amazons, and Amazons will donate 0.5% of your purchase to a charity of your choosing. Many phones, including iPhones, track your location and attach that information to every picture you take by default. You can turn it off in your settings, but that doesn't remove the information from pictures you have already taken. IE and EG are not the same thing. IE is an abbreviation of IDEST, which means that's, but you can remember what it means with the phrase in a sense. EG, on the other hand, stands for exempli gratia, which means for the sake of example, but can easily be remembered as example given. You only have to be in line before the polls close in order to vote. You don't have to cast your vote before the polls close. As long as you are in line, you are legally allowed to vote. You can leave everything you own to your pet. Don't have any close friends who feel like good choices to inherit your fortune. Not a problem. Your pets can be listed as the beneficiaries of your will. However, as was the case with the famed hotelier Leona Helmsley's prized poach, their total payout may be reduced. Water will make a grease fire much worse. Instead, starve the fire of oxygen by completely covering it and removing it from heat if possible. Baking soda will also help put out a grease fire, as will a Class B fire extinguisher. You can probably mute your microwave. Most modern microwaves come with the mute option. Sometimes it's easy as finding the button that has mute written on it in small letters and holding that down for a while. Otherwise, check your owner's manual and exponentially improve your quality of life. Finishing your antibiotics is crucial. If you stop taking antibiotics before you are supposed to, any bacteria that didn't get killed can develop an immunity to that antibiotic and become a super strain that's much more difficult to kill in the future. So keep taking your pills if you feel better. You can blur your house on Google Street View. How? Go to your house, click on it, and then click Report a Problem. At the bottom of the screen, you can also do this for your face or your car. You can cancel free trials before they expire. Instead of accidentally getting dipped into membership to a service you don't want, simply cancel during the free trial period. With most free trials, you can cancel immediately after you sign up and still enjoy the entire trial period. Escalator etiquette is real. In the United States, it's customary to stand right and walk left on stairs and escalators. We have never gone through this. There's a Air isn't mostly oxygen. Air is actually 78% nitrogen. An overabundance of oxygen can actually make you feel kind of high. That's why oxygen bars started to become a thing for a bit in the late 90s and early 00.